Hi, I'm Pattu from freefincal. A few days ago, I had talked about how I rebalanced my retirement portfolio for the first time after 13 years, a crash, and then the subsequent recovery. So, in this video, I want to give you some details about the current status, the current asset allocation of my retirement portfolio, and where I have rebalanced the money to. So, this is just my way of trying to promote goal-based portfolio management and how to look at the overall portfolio and not look at individual returns. And also this makes me accountable to my choices if by doing this, by sharing this with everyone. And if I have some kind of doubts and uncertainty, that goes away because it prevents me from doing something stupid to my portfolio. That's how I should say it. So I started investing in the NPS in August 2006. Technically, the money was deployed into the NPS only in March 2010. Until then, it was earning 8% a year with the employer. And I also have two PPFs. But those two PPFs, one is mine, one is my wife's. But those two PPFs, I did not add too much money. So the weight to the PPF even today, if you shall see below, is not too much. But the contribution to NPS was always higher than the amount I could invest after expenses in equity. So the NPS was always, every monthly contribution was always increasing my debt allocation. I started my equity mutual fund journey in on 19th June 2008 with a SIP of 1,500. From there, it was an uphill task to increase my equity allocation, but by 2010 or 11, I decided that I'm going to have to stick to 60% equity allocation. And for the first 5 years, I've said this many times before, from mid 2008 to mid 2013, the gains were zero. People won't tell you all these things when they talk about power of compounding and all that. This is the ground reality. You will go through all these years, those years without returns, and you have to keep investing. During those periods, I continuously invested. Also, because of promotion, pay commissions, etc., things changed, and I was able to increase my investments progressively. And by 2015, the equity allocation was about 55% or so. But from 2015, it more or less climbed up very slowly. It was forever stuck at 58%. And by May 2020, that is after the crash, the allocation was 53.5%, and the XIRR was the overall XIRR was 2.75%. People who say compounding and all that cannot explain this. They will fail to explain this, and they'll just simply say keep investing. That's all they will say. But that's life. These are the practicalities of equity investing. Then after the recovery from 53.5% in May 2020, the equity allocation became 63% in December 2020. In December 2020, I was in two minds whether I should rebalance or not. I just let it go. I was lucky the market increased a little bit further, and it was 65% in April 2021. So I decided now is the time. Now that the market, the recovery was losing momentum, I talked about this earlier, I decided to do a rebalance. So this is the current allocation. Equity is 60.2%. Out of this, 49.6% is equity mutual funds. 23.3% out of this is PPF AS long-term equity fund. HDF hybrid, that's a mistake. HDFC hybrid equity is 14.7%. Quantum long-term equity is 11.6%. Direct equity is about 10%, 10.6% or so. The debt is 39.8%. Out of this, NPS is the bulk with 28.8%. PPF is about 7%. I have not updated my own PPF account. I could not update it online because of some ID issues. So it's approximately 7.1%. I don't know the exact number. Now I have chosen ICICI Gilt fund to put the remaining rebalancing amount. So what I did was I used the rebalancing amounts, maximized my PPF, my wife's PPF, and the rest of the amount I put it into ICICI Gilt fund. So this is the retirement allocation. You can see the bulk is in equity plus direct equity and so on. People say, oh, you're having 60% equity, you're an old guy, why are you having so much equity and so on. It doesn't work like that, right? I mean, you can't look at an asset allocation and say you are having too much equity. That is not correct, because yeah, I mean, without knowing a person's net worth, that 40% equity can be a very high amount, right? So without knowing a person's net worth, you cannot say when whether that's too much equity or not. So it's it's a common mistake. Now coming to returns, the equity returns, that is the equity mutual fund return is 15.68%, NPS is 9.8%, direct equity is 24 to 21.4% absolute gain. If you calculate the CAGR from that absolute gain, it is 22.4%. I talked about that in the monthly update. Now ICICI Gilt Fund is just too young to talk about returns. PPF about 7.5% or so roughly I would have got. Now I'm just thinking both the PPFs are going to mature next year in April 2022. I'm debating whether I should just close the PPF and then start a new PPF for 15 years, because it's a very small amount and every 5 years I have to keep renewing it. It's so painful to go to the branch and so on. It's a pain in the ass. Alright, so that's about done, and I have also rebalanced for my son's portfolio in this time. And I want to make it very clear that I have chosen ICICI Gilt Fund because I wanted a debt fund for the long term. I wanted a category that had a chance of beating liquid or money market funds. The credit risk should be minimal. I should have full liquidity. I hate lock-ins. My investment tenure is open. I want to use this kind of investment even after retirement. I don't care about active duration calls because if you use the 10-year constant maturity, when the rates go down, then those kind of funds will suffer a lot. So if a fund manager is doing some kind of active duration calls, then the volatility will be lower during low interest rate regimes and so on. People are so scared about gilt funds will lose when the interest rates are going to go up and so on. That's fine. That's part of life, right? You enjoy the benefits when interest rates decrease, so you have to suffer the consequences when the interest rates go down. I am ready to do that because I have about 10 years experience of investing in gilt funds via NPS. So I don't mind doing that. So please don't copy this. Please be careful about what you are getting into. ICICI Gilt Fund is quite volatile. I will talk about how these gilt funds operate in a separate article or video in the next few days. Right. So that's about it. I'll catch you later. Bye bye.